workers, and that's one of the things we'll look at and one of the questions we'll start to be addressing on Monday.
We have not been idle these last few weeks.
On Monday, the province plans to provide a major update on its immunization plan for BC. What we know so far and how could Canada's latest vaccine approval affect the rollout?
Posing with a body. 2 Vancouver police officers are now under investigation after they were caught on film taking pictures at Third Beach and laughing.
I don't take it personally at all because I think it just reflects the pain that some people are experiencing during this uneasy times.
Just days before the Vancouver Mural Festival wraps up, several public art displays have been smashed and knocked over in downtown Vancouver. Just ahead, the disappointment artists are feeling and how the community is rallying around them.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news. CityNews has learned of a COVID-19 outbreak at Surrey Memorial Hospital. The infection has been shared by someone in our Omni television team whose family member contracted the virus during a stay recently at the hospital. It's not clear how many patients or staff are infected. This outbreak was not included in Friday's update from the provincial health officials. BC reported 589 new cases of COVID-19 on Friday. Over half of the new cases are in the Fraser Health region. There are 665 active cases of COVID-19 in the province. 232 of those individuals are currently hospitalized with COVID-19. 63 are in intensive care. So far, over 252,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in BC. 73,000 of those are the second doses. This as new details of BC's vaccination plan are set to be announced on Monday.
We know there are many people in BC who are eager to get vaccinated as quickly as possible.
We are definitely ready, willing, and able to help them out.
The province plans to provide an update on its immunization plan for BC on Monday. So what should we expect to hear from health officials, and how will Canada's latest vaccine approval affect things? Here's what we know so far.
That give us the time to make sure we're getting it right. We have not been idle these last few weeks.
BC's provincial health officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, said Thursday they are continuing to put together the building blocks for the plan, as mass clinics are set to start in April.
We are starting, as you know, with our most vulnerable seniors and elders in our communities across BC. And we'll be starting, as Minister Dix has said, Dr. Ballum and he and I will be presenting you those details on Monday. But rest assured, things are ramping up.
On Friday, Health Canada approved AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine. This is the third vaccine to be given the green light so far in Canada.
We were anticipating this and preparing for this if this were to happen, and there has been some discussion of using the AstraZeneca as a separate program focused on essential workers, and that's one of the things we'll look at and one of the questions we'll start to be addressing on Monday.
We can definitely have the reach to be able to reach every corner of the province and get as many people vaccinated in a very short period of time.
GM of Pharmacy at London Drugs, Chris Shue, says we could soon see vaccinations take place in their stores, along with other pharmacies. He says they're talking to the province about widespread distribution and feels the latest vaccine approval could ramp things up.
With AstraZeneca being approved actually today, it could be fairly soon. It really all depends on the vaccine providers, the vaccine manufacturers, as to how quickly they can get into Canada.
Meanwhile, Premier John Horgan says BC has seen an increase in the number of shipments of the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines.
We've got through the 2-week period where we knew we were going to be dry, and that's behind us. The approval of AstraZeneca gives us another option to look at how we can manage the various and sundry issues and interests when it comes to the vaccination program.
Health officials maintain the answers to many of British Columbians' rollout questions will be given on Monday. We are on the heels of phase 2 of BC's age-based approach, which will soon see seniors aged 80 and over who are not yet immunized get the shot. In New Westminster, Ashley Burr, City News.
After in-depth reviews of the evidence, we've determined that these vaccines meet the department's stringent safety, efficacy, and quality requirements.
Canada gets another weapon in the fight against COVID as Health Canada gives AstraZeneca the okay.
The cop's taking a picture. and he's joking around.
It's not the kind of conduct you'd expect from police officers, posing with an apparent lifeless body and laughing. Zachary Ratcliffe says he was out for a walk near 3rd Beach Wednesday when he heard laughter. That's when he noticed 2 Vancouver police officers standing by an uncovered body. Next, he saw one officer apparently posing for photos, so Ratcliffe started filming them.
He walked down and he posed. Twice. Like he posed in two different ways in front of the body, and there was no reason to do that. I can't imagine why he would take a picture.
For Ratcliffe, the behavior was all the more troubling because officers didn't seem to mind that other people were around.
It left a bad taste in my mouth. I felt awful. There was a human being there that was lying on the beach, and there was no sensitivity whatsoever displayed for this man or woman, and it was upsetting, very upsetting.
The Vancouver Police says the incident is now under investigation by the Office of the Police Complaints Commissioner. In an email, a spokesperson said it would be inappropriate for the VPD to comment during the investigation, but the force strictly prohibits officers from taking photographs without an authorized purpose, and officers are expected to act with professionalism. The death is not considered suspicious, according to VPD, but responding officers did have to wait on scene for the coroner to arrive. I'm Lasha Krutzel.
You are out of luck if you are planning to travel to or from Vancouver Island today. Due to strong winds, BC Ferries canceled all sailings between Tsawwassen and Swartz Bay, Tsawwassen and Dew Point, and Horseshoe Bay and Departure Bay. Anyone with a reservation will be issued a refund. The wind is expected to ease off overnight, but anyone planning to travel this weekend should check the BC Ferries website before.
Honestly, the first reaction was really sad.
Just days before the Vancouver Mural Festival's Winter Art Show comes to an end, several interactive outdoor exhibits have been vandalized.
It was a lot of efforts to install all these things and to make this happen. At the same time, though, I don't take it personally at all because I think it just reflects the pain that some people are experiencing during this uneasy times.
Images shared on social media Friday morning show several augmented reality exhibits and other public art knocked over, smashed, and gouged. But artist Saida Saitgar, whose exhibit was damaged beyond repair, says she's not surprised.
I actually am not totally surprised it happened, considering the location.
The Vancouver Mural Festival created the outdoor augmented reality exhibits to ensure a safe way to view art during the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of the vandalism happened to exhibits here near West Hastings Street and Hornby Street.
I think it's incredibly important that we hold up our local artists and public art programs and also protect them as much as possible from this type of behavior.
Exhibits in front of the Vancouver Art Gallery also ruined. Vancouver City Councillor Rebecca Bly says incidents of vandalism are on the rise.
Anecdotally, we're hearing there's a rise. BIA, our business improvement associations across the whole city, not just the downtown, but including the downtown, have been reporting an increase in vandalism, graffiti, things like that.
Vancouver police say they are aware of the mischief and are currently investigating. The Vancouver Mural Festival says this type of thing is common when it comes to public art.
This kind of thing isn't unusual to us because we work in public space, and public space is an unpredictable space, and our murals get tagged, things get vandalized, and it's something that we're used to facing.
Those wanting to enjoy the public art can still do so until Sunday, with more than a dozen augmented reality displays still standing.
I sure hope that people take an opportunity to enjoy the good weather and enjoy the festival for the last 2 days. We still have 17 sites featuring 19 artists up all over downtown core.
In Vancouver, Miranda Fatour, City News.
After in-depth reviews of the evidence, we've determined that these vaccines meet the department's stringent safety, efficacy, and quality requirements.
Health Canada signs off on another weapon in the fight against COVID, with the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine getting approval for use in Canada. The Prime Minister says we can expect up to 2 million doses to arrive in the coming weeks, but couldn't say when the first shipment might land.
The first batch of doses, consisting of 500,000 doses, will be delivered to Canada in the coming days.
Canada has bought 20 million doses direct from AstraZeneca, but topped that up with another 2 million from Canadian company Verity Pharmaceuticals, produced in India's Serum Institute. But there are concerns over the vaccine's effectiveness. Health Canada says AstraZeneca is only about 62% effective, compared to over 95% for Pfizer and Moderna. But epidemiologists say that doesn't mean it's not going to work.
I think people need to recognize the goal here isn't to make myself immune and indestructible. The goal is to get society back to normal.
Epidemiologist Rewat Deonandan says we shouldn't let the efficacy rate make us lose sight of the goal. If enough Canadians get a vaccine, even a less effective one, fewer people will get COVID, and that means we can start getting back to normal.
If we can get these slightly less efficacious doses into enough people, the incidence rate comes down. And so the crisis gets abated. We all go back to normal even before most of us have had a shot.
Now, this makes 3 approvals among the 7 vaccines Canada has bought into. Vaccines from Medicago, Novavax, Sanofi, and Johnson & Johnson are either in clinical trials or waiting for regulator approval. In Ottawa, Xiaoli Li, City News.
Even as estimated costs balloon further to $16 billion, the Premier is making the call to proceed with the Site C dam. The province is announcing this development even as it acknowledges it will take another year to complete due to the pandemic. That means we're looking at 2025 to cross the finish line for this project, with the province citing COVID-19 as the primary reason for that delay. And in terms of an explanation, given the dam is already half built, Premier John Horgan says cancellation would mean we'd all be left with much higher electricity bills.
The project is half completed. The river diversion has taken place. The costs going forward are going to be less than the costs that we've had behind us. But it was a tough decision at the time. This was less difficult because, quite frankly, I had come to terms with the fact that we were proceeding. I saw the benefit to 4,500 people having family supporting jobs and being able to pay their mortgages and get their kids new hockey gear and get into a dance school and all of the things that families do. And so I appreciate there are a significant number of British Columbians who have never been supportive of this project, and they are not going to be any happier today than they were in 2017.
Today's news is disappointing, but not surprising to Ken Boone. Much of the land he farms in the Peace Valley will be flooded if the project ever gets done, but he's not convinced that day will come.
If they ever get to that stage, I'm not convinced we've seen the end of this yet. And I, who in this province really wants to believe that they are going to solve the geotechnical problems? I don't know.
The government is also sharing the findings of an independent geotechnical examination by 2 experts. They found the project can be built safely if the foundation is improved, following initial concerns about the slope on the right bank. The province estimates pulling the plug at this point would cost $10 billion at a minimum. For City News, I'm News 1130's Martin McMahon.
Canadian rocker Bryan Adams is showing a little love to the staff at Lionsgate Hospital. Adams took to Twitter this week, posting a photo with his mother, who is being treated at the North Vancouver Hospital. The tweet reads in part, "Thanks to the incredible staff at LGH Foundation in North Vancouver for taking good care of my mom, Jane." Adams went to high school in North Vancouver. Vancouver's news is always available on the radio with News 1130 or online anytime at citynews1130.com. And your next edition of City News is just around the corner tonight at 11. Thanks for watching and have a great night.